Hey everyone, we got a home vlog today. Got some stuff to do around the house. Got some leaf cleanup to finish up. We started it a couple weeks ago and filled up all our trash cans. And rained last weekend, so we didn't get a chance to work on it then. So work on that. I got a new tool here. So I got a leaf vacuum. So I'm gonna show you that and see how it works. I also use the Kobalt 40 volt tools. Really like those. I have the blower, the limb saw, as well as a weed eater for it. I really like the battery powered Kobalt tools. So we'll use those, and also need to do some put some stakes in the ground, put some strings out so we can get some fill dirt in. We got some water issues around the house with some low ground, so we need to raise that up. We're also turning a back portion of our house into kind of a patio area that we can sit, just enjoy time together. So we're working on that. Oh, and then we also have some ribs to do, so we'll be smoking some ribs on my pellet grill. So we'll show you that process as well. So just kind of a random day today. Hope you enjoy it, and take you along for the ride. All right, welcome to the backyard. So this is where we're going to put our little seating area. You see it's got a lot of holes in it. The previous owner had a dog back here, so it was kind of uneven. That's my generator shed. I need to paint it and make it look a little more presentable, but we have a generator for hurricanes here in Florida, so we can just run the house. We're on well water, so we'll run out of water if we lose power, and definitely don't want to do that. So I'm going to lay some stakes out here later on today, try to give me the proper slope for new dirt, and so when we get that filled in I can level it out. But that's the area we're going to put sod down. We thought about patio pavers, but our septic tank is back here and don't want to put the extra weight in case we ever have to do a clean out or whatever. I don't want to take them back up, so figured sod would be the best idea. So see, we got quite a few leaves to clean up with all the trees that we have. That tree is dead, and I need to take it down one day so it don't fall on my boat shed here. I did have a tree, you can see the stump there already. It actually fell on it, but it's pretty good, pretty sturdy shed, so it held up okay. But here is our leaf vacuum. I've got it stored on top of the boat here. Well, that is our leaf vacuum. It's a Toro, as you see. I've tried it out a little bit when I got it. It worked really well. Really impressed with it. It has the bag that attaches right there, and it's got a zipper at the bottom. So that's nice. You just hold it over the garbage can and it unzip it and it dumps out. So it's very easy to clean up. But we'll give it a bigger whirl today. We'll put it to its paces and see how it goes. But first, we're going to go ahead and use the blower and blow these leaves up. I don't like to rake leaves if I don't have to. So we'll go over here, get the blower, and get some leaves put into piles. All right, we got the Kobalt 40 volt max blower right there. That's what I'll be using today. The vacuum does have it's a vacuum or blower, so if I run out of battery power on this, I can always use that. Just have to use an extension cord, but this is nice. I don't have to mix gas, just use the batteries. I have 3 batteries for it, and it works pretty well. So we'll get started on that and see how far I can make it before batteries die. As I said before, I do have the pole saw here. That works really well. Clean up the limbs around here. The weed eater as well. I got the weed eater right there. For my 1 acre lot here, the battery powered tools work really well, so I really like them. So what I'm doing here is I'm just getting the leaves into general piles. They ain't got to be real tight, really high. Since it is a vacuum, I can just run down it and vacuum everything up. Like for example here, doing more of a row, so I can just walk down the rows. That way just less time, less battery use. Not trying to get all the leaves up into general piles. We did do piles a couple weeks ago, so that's what we did here. As you can see, we got more leaves that drop, but I did try the vacuum on these piles before, and it does well. It sucks them up. You had to watch out for the little acorns and stuff, but we'll give it another go. I still got some more leaf blowing to do, so we'll get back onto that. So I'm waiting on the garbage guys to come pick up the yard waste from my aunt. She's the one with all the garbage cans, so can't quite finish up the leaves right now. So I moved on to staking up a front yard here. So we have some issues with water coming up against the house here. It'll get up pretty high because the slope on the ground here goes towards the house. So from the sidewalk here, it slopes down towards the house. So we want to get some fill dirt to raise that up so it slopes away from the house and drains this way into the yard. So what I'm doing is I'm laying these stakes out with strings to give me the slope so that when we get the dirt, I can raise it up and just follow the line of the strings. So to show you here, this one's kind of bending on me, but no, I can fix that. So I laid out the back string here, and it is level. So it goes all the way down to the corner of the house. So that's level. That's to give me the height I need to come up to at the house level, and I got that by this one. So this is the string. As you can see, it runs down to the sidewalk there, and I'm doing about a 1-inch slope over 4 foot, maybe a little less in this case. And so doing that'll give me that slope towards the sidewalk. And I'm using a line level here, so I put that on the line, get it level, and then I marked these 1-inch marks on the stakes. So once I get level, I just pull the line up another inch, maybe a little more, and that'll give me the slope. And then I made from this line back to give me the height of that back line. So that's how I'm setting that up. I'll show you how I'm doing these lines. Let me switch batteries here and I'll show you that. Alright, so I got this mason string here, as you can see, and for attaching it to this part of the stake, or this end of the stake, I just do a simple overhand knot. So I double it, do an overhand, and that will hold on this end of the stake, and I'll tighten from the other end. So I just put it around, come back this way, okay. Now what I do here is I loop it like so and just make some turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7's a good number. Stick it over, and then what you do is you pull on this line here and tighten with this one. So let me move the camera here. All right, so we'll pull and tighten. Let me get this down to where I need it. Pull and tighten, and then when you come back, you let it overwrap itself, and it'll stay tight. So that's pretty tight right there. To loosen it, you just take it, well, loosen it's on there. But normally what you do once it's tight like that, you just pull it, loosen, and then you can tighten some more if you need to. Pull back, let it overwrap itself, and then it's tight. This is a new string, so it may not do it really well. It's kind of slick, so I could just do a half hitch on it to kind of lock it into place there. And then I'm going to slide this down even with the ground, because this is the where I want that end to be. Right, so it slopes that way. So then, take my line level and stick it on here. And then I bring it up till it's level. So I slip down back here. Pull this up. And then check my level. So not quite level. Alright. So that's about level. And I don't have much more room on my stake here, so I'm gonna actually have to pull this up. So I'm gonna pull my stake up. And I'm gonna pull this end up towards the top. And that'll give me about my inch. It's right at the top, it's not ideal. I drove that stake in a little further than what I needed to. I'm also in a dip here, so that's also another issue. The dip's down there, so my stake's really not long enough. But that'll give me a rough idea. And that's what I'm doing, so I'll do it on the next one right there. And I may do one in the middle here, all the way across over to the beaver there, to kind of give me an idea of how it needs to slope to. So anyways, that's what I'm doing here. About time to get the ribs going here. So what we're going to be using is a Pit Boss pellet smoker, also known as a pellet grill. This is a 456D. It's from Lowe's. Got it for Christmas. Used it once before so far on another rack of ribs. I actually did two racks of baby backs. Turned out really well. They don't have a lot of smoke to them. That's one of the complaints about the pellet grills, pellet smokers. Is you don't get a lot of smoke smell like you do with your typical wood or charcoal type smokers. One thing I want to do is get a it's like a pellet tube. So what it does, it fits inside of here. You just put it like in the back, and it burns additional pellets to give you more of a smoky flavor. So I do want to get that, try to get some more smoke. One thing I've noticed with the pellet grill, and I think it's because of the pellets I have, they're really dusty as you get this dust inside. I try to take care of that with the colander there to get a lot of the dust off. But that's just one of the downsides I've seen. I do about 250. I didn't like the 225 setting. To me, it dropped too low. Sometimes it got like 198 before it kicked back on. I did verify that with another thermometer, not just the built-in temperature guide there. So I tend to do a 250 cook. That'll obviously it'll get up a little higher, maybe 260, drop back down to about 225 before it kicks back on. So I'm going to do a no wrap on these ribs. They're St. Louis style. I got to trim them up. We'll show you that process. Hoping to be done about 5 hours, so we'll get it on here about noon. The hopper here, it's one other issue I have is it's pretty small. You just gotta watch it and fill it up. I think they make an extension on it so you can put another additional hopper so it goes up. I'd like to do a brisket, and that'll be a long cook time, so I don't want to have to monitor it all the time. I'd like to sleep, you know, while the brisket's cooking. So may do that, buy that, may build one, not sure yet, but that's another issue that I have with it. But as far as the process here, I do store my pellets in a 5-gallon bucket. It is a rubber sealed lid, so that's good. Helps keeps the air out, the moisture out. But I just simply take some pellets, shake it off. I'm not sure if you can see any of the dust coming out. It's getting on the camera there. Move it around, get some dust out, and fill it up. All right, once you get that filled up, Come down here, just turn it on. Oh. There you go, you see the blue light. And then you flip that on to smoke. And it'll start. Move the flame broiler here. So this allows it to, if you're doing a steak, you can sear the steak. Flame comes through there. So you may not be able to see it, but what it does is it starts putting out pellets into the hopper there, and the burn pot burns those. And I like to keep this open so I can see it starting to catch on fire and flame up there. But you can see some of the dust coming out. Doesn't affect any of the meat that I've noticed so far. Just more of annoyance. All right, we're getting some smoke there, so we're fixing to catch fire. Let that baby warm up there. Once it catches fire, starts burning, I'll move this up to 250. I got about 45 minutes before I want to put the ribs on. That'll give it a really good time to get up to temp. You don't want to just throw them in right away. You want them to get up to temp there. My wife is not going to like me smelling like smoked today, but it is what it is. Really starting to smoke there. That'll actually go away. It won't do that big smoke like that the whole time. It's just that first initial startup. Put my cover back over. My grate back. Got her going. See, we're at 105. In the smoke setting, mine will run about 180. You can change that, the pause number or the P number there. The lower that is, the less pause and the amount of pellets that it'll put out, and it'll actually raise the temperature. So you could potentially get a good smoke temperature by lowering that P number, but I like to run the 250. I have ran it on high. That's about a 500 degree temp. It goes through a lot of pellets at 500 degrees. With 250, I think it's about a pound an hour, somewhere around there. Still quite a bit of pellets, but I like this. I had an electric smoker prior to this, and worked well. I just didn't like the design of it. It was the master built, kind of the stacked smoker. This one's really good. I like it. So we'll let that come up to temp, let it warm everything up, and we'll go prepare the ribs. So we have some pork St. Louis ribs. We got these at Publix. Now normally you have to trim these up, but looks like Publix actually trimmed these up for me, so they look really well. I may take this part here off, this meat part, and just do it separate. But it's pretty square up, so I may just actually leave it. One thing you do with ribs though is you take off on the back side. So this is the bone side, here's the meat side. Is you take off this silver skin and trim that up. It can be kind of difficult at times, but we'll give it a whirl here and it should come up. But so just trim it. And what I do is once I get a good place, try to get it, is once you start getting it going, you just start using your fingers. So knife down and just work your finger kind of back and forth, kind of lift it up. And it can be difficult. Some people use fish pliers, like catfish pliers, to grab it because it can be kind of slippery. But if you start getting it, you can start working it up like that. Working it. Try to get a grip on it. Try not to rip it. If you do, then it gets even harder, but like I just ripped that one. But you work your finger back and forth and loosen it up. You could use a knife, but it's easier to poke through it with a knife. Just helps make it tender, and it's not something grabbing onto it whenever you eat them. So it's good to try to get as much of it off as you can. Sometimes when you get it, you can just rip it. You get a good grip on it, so there we go. I think that's good enough. You can see, so just nice meat there. You don't have that skin on there. I'm going to take and trim up some of the fat that's left. Good to have a nice sharp knife. I just sharpened this. I have the Work Sharp knife sharpener. The belted sharpener works really, really well. I like it a lot. Just trying to clean it up. Okay. Once you get it cleaned up, we'll put the rub on it. So what we'll do is we'll lather it with mustard on both sides and then put a rub on it. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. So just use normal, just Heinz or whatever, French's mustard, doesn't matter. Just whatever kind of mustard that you have. And you know, the mustard flavor doesn't actually stay on the ribs. You may wonder how, I don't know, but this just helps the rub to stick. So just get some on there. Don't have to be a lot. Okay. And then this is just a store-bought rub, rib rack rub. I have a rub that I normally make. I just didn't buy any ingredients to do it, so store-bought it is. Give it a nice coating. And yeah, they call it a rub, but don't rub it in. Just pat it in. If you rub it in, you're going to rub it off. You just want to give it a nice pat. Cover all meat. This is the bone side I started with. Doesn't really matter. However you do it. Flip it. And we'll do some more mustard. That mustard spread around. Okay, and more rub. That in there. This will give you a nice bark on it. mustard and the rub here. I think we're going to go ahead and barbecue these, or put a sauce on these as well, but that'll be later on towards the end of the cook time. Okay. Be good. The bottom side of it may start to lose some of that rub, but that's all right. I like to have a lot of the rub on the meat side, which is why I start on the bottom side. Good amount of rub covering that. All right, and almost 12 o'clock, so we'll give it just a few more minutes, check the grill, and get these put on. All right, so my wife Lindsay is back. She's been up at the church working in the nursery, so she's my camera person now.
Hi,
so
I'm back.
What I did is I bumped the grill up to 300 degrees to kind of get it higher than my cooking temperature, so when I put this on it doesn't drop a whole lot. So go ahead and add these now. Now I cook bone side down. So I got those on. Again, I'm doing the no foil. At a higher temperature, I'm hoping to be done about 5 hours. We'll see, but we by 6, 7, who cares? It'll be done when it gets done. So we'll follow the meat cooking process here, and I guess we'll get started on some more leaves. And that's a good thing about the pellet grill, is it just continues to cook, and I don't have to mess with it. So I guess it's time to do yard work again.
Really cool because it sucks it all up. There's my husband with grazing boots. Wow. So I'm back. I was at our church doing some rearranging for rooms because I'm a teacher on Wednesday nights. So Eric's been doing quite a bit, and now he's outside doing the leaf blower slash vacuum. It's really cool. We tested it out like he said before, and it works really great. So I'm really excited about this because we have so many leaves in our yard, and it's just gotten worse, I think, more than better. But when Hurricane Irma came through, our yard had really been bad because we lost a bunch of trees, fell. Thankfully, nothing fell on our house and our vehicles, but, you know, we were safe. So our next project is basically yard cleaning, and I think our next one after that, after our patio and yard, is probably going to be painting our house. As you can see in the videos, our house on the outside is bad, but when Eric bought the house before we even got married or anything, the owners before didn't take very good care of this home, so we've really had to do some of our own renovations, like painting and stuff. So yeah, so I hope y'all are enjoying this video. We're still not done with the day.
And so we just did a pile over there on behind Lindsay there, and it did really well. I kind of want to show it before here. We have this row here. So we'll go ahead and vacuum. So just we're gonna look at it here. We'll go through it, vacuum it, and then you'll see what it looks like afterwards. Oh, by the way, this has a control knob that it goes from high to low, so it's variable speed. It's not just one constant speed. You can adjust it. It's really good for the blower side. Is mainly. Let's get started.
but if you look, he started like right in this area and he's all the way over here. But the difference, in person, the difference is amazing. So I can't wait to see how our yard's gonna look after we vacuum up like a bajillion leaves that have fallen down. So, yeah. So I would say this is a great purchase, like if you're one of us who has a lot of leaves on the ground, to go ahead and purchase it and just try it out. It works amazing. So that's my review as a wife.
Alright, it's been a little over 2 hours. Just check on it here. Starting to look good. Getting a little pullback on the ribs there. So we'll give it some more time and see how they turn out. Alright, here's our ribs. It took about 4.5 hours to finish these up. We got a nice little glaze with the sauce on there. Looking pretty good. The way I like to test for tenderness and that is done is you can take the bone and just start to twist it and it starts to come loose. I don't like a real fall off the bone type rib, but so we're gonna finish up dinner here. We're gonna call it into the video. So hope you all enjoyed it. Maybe we'll do some more of these types of videos, just the different things that we do throughout the week. So